everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020 with match number 29 on our list, which is the contest for the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship between the champion Jordynne Grace and the challenger Deonna Purrazzo from Impact Slammiversary 18, which was held back on the 18th of July 2020. Now, this match is maybe the best, I'll say, hidden gem of all of 2020. And I say that because it was a match that I shamefully initially skipped. I didn't watch it when it aired. The reason for that is I checked out Slammiversary. I'll always be a TNA fan at heart. And I find that Impact has had a really hard time translating their shows into the COVID era. They've had no crowds whatsoever, and the shows often feel just very dull and lifeless. And that's what I felt with Slammiversary. I watched a little bit of it. It wasn't clicking for me. I shut it off before this match happened. I read a couple of reviews after the fact and saw some comments online on Twitter. I decided to go back and check out the main event, which I didn't think was too great. And this match, slipped right under my radar. And this match just goes to show that what, might not work for others or what might be mediocre for others can really connect with you. Dave Meltzer gave this match 2 3/4 stars, which is obviously nothing spectacular. That said, I did end up seeing a comment online from somebody that they said this was a really great match that they thought wasn't getting the love that it deserved. I went back, I gave it a watch, and I was completely blown away by it. And when I rewatched it again for this project, I thought it was even better. I think this is not only the best knockouts match in TNA or Impact history, I think it is one of the best Impact matches in the past several years. It is just incredibly, incredibly focused. And I think what's really important with COVID era wrestling is if you just wrestle your normal match that you would do in front of a crowd and expect reactions for, it's not going to connect to the viewer at home because it does have that dull, lifeless feeling to it. But if you do something different, and if you do a focused match like this that draws you in and engages you in the story, you shut out the fact that there's no crowd there. And that's what I really did for this contest. This match is really cool at its core. It's really, really simple. And, I hate to say it, but in the context of the story that they crafted, one wrestler was just far superior to the other. That said, it wasn't a squash match or anything like that, right? It was an even back and forth match. But Purrazzo had a game plan throughout the course of the contest that she did not waver from, whereas Jordynne Grace, you could tell, didn't have a game plan and kind of just went with whatever worked, and that ended up being her downfall. So they very quickly established here that Jordynne Grace has the power advantage. She's super strong, just an incredible talent. And she uses that to her advantage. She also hit a really nice big tope in the early goings of the match. But from there, Deonna Purrazzo was just on a completely other level. She targeted Jordynne's arm, and she did not stop for the entirety of the contest. Every opportunity she had, she went to the arm. Every strike that she threw was directed at the arm. Every move that Grace tried to perform, Deonna at some point was trying to grab that arm and use that as her opportunity to counter and to take the advantage. To Jordynne's credit, she did a phenomenal job selling the arm. Even when she was on offense, there's a spot where she kept hitting repeated body slams and would clutch the arm after each one. She did a really, really solid job. And like I said, essentially she ended up having to work from behind because of the arm. She would hit, her big power moves whenever she could, but basically just countering, with what Deonna was throwing at her. And it built to this pivotal point in the match where she just made a mistake. She went for a pump handle, half Nelson kind of Michinoku driver thing that she does. Matt Sydal would call it the Here It Is driver, if you're familiar with that move. That's one of her signatures. She went with it, but in doing so, she has to use her arm to hook Deonna's arm, which leaves it exposed. Deonna very quickly went after that. But again, it just shows the difference between the two competitors in this match, and that Jordynne made the mistake and did the same thing again. She actually went for a power bomb. Once again, left her arm exposed. Deonna jumped all over it, tied up her good arm with her entire body basically, and then used the weak arm, pulled on it with her submission move, which she calls the Venus de Milo, which is just a great submission, very Zack Sabre Jr.-esque. And she got the submission victory. And this felt like a very legitimate win for her. Jordynne Grace had dominated the knockouts division coming into this, and Deonna Purrazzo was just prepared, was that much smarter on this given night, was that much better, and she pulled out the victory in an absolutely fantastic, focused, and nuanced pro wrestling match. This match can be viewed on Impact Plus through Fight TV, which is a very good subscription service if you want to go back and rewatch any old TNA stuff, or if you want to experience it for the first time, if you didn't live through, you know, the original weekly pay-per-view era. There's lots and lots of good stuff on there. It's a really good value for the subscription price. Speaking of subscriptions, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you haven't. I would love to see that. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join us again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.